Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'll be showing you how to make part 1 of the Crochet Along Mandala Madness designed by Helen Shrimpton. I'll be using cotton 8 and sun-kissed yarn, both by Scheepjes, together with a 3mm crochet hook. I'll be taking you step by step through the 15 rounds that make up part 1. I hope it's a useful video for you. Thank you for watching. Round 1, I'm going to start with a magic ring. So that's crossing my yarn, pick up at the back, and again pull through. I'm going to make 16 single crochets in total in the ring. And there we go, let me just grab it full. And now we're going to make 16 single crochets in the ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all the time hold your ring tight so you don't accidentally unravel it. So that's 5. This is then 6. And 16. These are 16 single crochets. I'm going to close the ring by pulling on my tail. There we go. You might have to pull this reasonably hard. And we're going to close with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. So look for your first stitch. That's this stitch here. It's the first stitch. And close with a slip stitch. And there we go. I'm going to use the same color in the next round, so I'm not going to cut off. So 16 single crochets at the end of round 1. Round 2, I'm going to start with a chain 3. That's going to be my first double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And now in the same stitches where I have the slip stitch join, I'm going to make a second double crochet. So I'm going to have 2 in the same stitch. In that stitch it already contains a join. I'm going to make a double crochet. Chain 2. And I'm going to skip the next stitch. That's going to be that stitch there. And in the following stitch work 2 double crochets. So skipping this stitch, and the next we make 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And this we're going to repeat 7 times. So chain 2, skip a stitch and work 2 double crochets. Chain 2, skip 1 stitch. That's going to be this stitch here. And then the next, work 2 double crochets. And 2. And we're going to do it again. Chain 2, skip a stitch. This stitch here, 1 stitch. The next stitch, work 2 double crochets. So 1, and there we go, 2. almost round, so let's chain 2, skip 1 stitch and work 2 double crochets in the 1 stitch. At this point you should have 1 stitch left, that's this stitch here, before you get to the chain 3. So I'm going to make chain 2, and now we're going to fasten or join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch. There we go. I'm going to cut off because in the next round I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to cut off my yarn and pull through. And then at this point you could close your magic ring again a little bit more because it has opened up a little bit. Just going to pull it a little tighter again. And this completes round 2, where you've got 2 double crochets in every other stitch, and you've got chain 2s in between. Round 3, got a new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to work in the stitches that we just skipped on round 2. So these are the stitches that are between these 2 groups of double crochets. I'm going to start in any one of these stitches with a standing single crochet. So in any one of these stitches that I skipped, and make sure that you're working in front of your work. So I'm folding this chain space here to the back so that you don't accidentally work it like this, but really make sure that it's to the back of your work. You're only working in these chain spaces. Just got my yarn on the wrong side. There we go. So standing single crochet in the stitch that you just skipped. We're going to make a picot. So that's chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to come back to this single crochet that we made and make a slip stitch through that single crochet. I'm going to go into that single crochet and work a slip stitch. That's a picot made. I'm going to do this in each of these stitches that we skipped. So I'm going to go to the next stitch. That's this one here. There we are. And you're going to see as you work that this will pull up this picot. It'll become a bit of an upright edge. So a single crochet in this stitch. And again a picot, so that's chain 3, then come back into the single crochet that you just made and make a picot, or close it with the slip stitch, I should say, and that forms the picot. To the next stitch that we skipped, so that means we're skipping this stitch here that has the 2 double crochets. And the next empty stitch on round 2, work a single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and come back into the single crochet. There we go, to make a picot. Now I've done this 3 times, you're going to do this 8 times in total. So for every stitch that we skipped, I'm going to make a single crochet, chain 3, then come back in that single crochet, and work a slip stitch. I have one more single crochet to do. The last chain 1, or last space I should say, the last stitch. Chain 3. Come back to that single crochet close, make a slip stitch. Now you're all the way around, so we're back to this first single crochet that we made here, this standing single crochet. So we're going to close there with a slip stitch, so to make this circle completely round. I'm going to go into that stitch, and I've got my threads a little bit in the way here, but we're going to pull them to the back, close with a slip stitch in that first standing single crochet. I'm going to cut off my yarn, and I'm going to open up here, and these two threads I'm going to pull to the back because you don't want them here in the front of your work. I'm going to pull them to the back. And here to the back, you're going to work them in here in the back of your work. So secure these two threads, and then you can see how you've made this lovely little picot edge, this flower center here, and that completes round 3. Round 4, we have a new color yarn on my hook. What we're going to be doing is we're making popcorn stitches in the second double crochet of any of these 2 double crochets that you have here grouped together. You can start on any one you like. I'm going to start, there are we, in the one just after the join. Here's my join. I'm going to take the next one. The reason is that I can immediately work in the thread from round 2. I'm going to start with a popcorn, and that's 5 double crochets in this second stitch. So this is the first double crochet in this second one, in that second stitch. And I'm also going to work over the thread from round 2. I'm going to make 5 double crochets in this stitch, and my first one is of course a standing double crochet. You can also make a chain 3 here if you prefer. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, 5 double crochets. I'm going to open up my loop, hold that loop on my finger so that I don't accidentally lose it, and then I'm going to go back to the first double crochet, pick up my stitch there, and pick up the loop, close the loop again by pulling on my thread, and pull through that first stitch. Chain 1, and that completes my first popcorn. I'm going to do chain 3 and then do another popcorn. The chain 1 we just made here does not count as any chain stitches, but it's really part of the popcorn. Popcorn is 5 double crochets and the chain 1. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to come to the next position. That's going to be this stitch here, the second of these 2 double crochets, and we're again going to work a popcorn stitch. And I'm still going to take that thread from round 2 with me. I just need to quickly grab a hold of it. There we are. So I'm going to work over this thread also. So I like to work threads away as much as possible on the go. It just saves me so much time. So this one we're going to skip. We're going to skip the chain 2 space, this first double crochet, and in the second double crochet make those 5 popcorn stitches, 5 double crochets again. So that's 1, 2, 3, need a bit more yarn, 3, and this is number 4, and 5. And I have 5 double crochets in the one stitch. I'm open up my loop again. I'm going to go back to the first double crochet, pick up my loop, pull tight, pull through, and chain 1. This you're going to repeat all the way around, the chain 3 and the popcorn stitch. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'll show you once more. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then 5 double crochets to make the popcorn in the second of these 2 double crochet stitches here. So in that second stitch, work 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, 5 double crochets. To open up again, come back to that first stitch, pick up the loop, pull tight, pull through that first stitch, and chain 1. Now done the repeat twice, so the chain 3 and the popcorn, chain 3 and the popcorn. Do this until you've made all your popcorn stitches, and after your last popcorn you'll still need to do a chain 3 and then close with a slip stitch to your first stitch. I'll just show you how to do that when we get here. So almost round. You see here I've made the last popcorn stitch plus the chain 1. Means I now need to do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go to the top of this popcorn stitch. I'm going to look for that first standing double crochet. I've got here the tail that is a guide to where that stitch is. I'm going to close with a slip stitch to the top of that double crochet. And then this completes round 2. I'm going to cut, round 4. Cut off my yarn and tie off. And now you can see you've already started to make a flower. Round 5, got a new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to be working over the chain 2 spaces from round 2 and the chain 3 spaces from round 4. So we're going to work over both of them at the same time. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet over these 2 spaces, bringing them together. I'm going to make a standing single crochet. So you can start in any position you like. So the chain 2 space and the chain 3 space from round 2 and 4. Bring them together with a standing single crochet. Now we're going to move to the next space. So again, this chain 2 space here and the chain 3 space, we're again going to work over both of them, and we're going to be making 7 treble crochets over these 2 spaces together. And what you need to make sure that your popcorn stitch is in front of your work. You're going to be really unhappy if it's to the back. So don't work like this, but make sure you work like this. So treble, that's a double is once over, a treble twice over. Yarn twice over, then through the space from the chain 2 and the chain 3, so really over everything together. See, like so, and making sure the popcorn is to the front of your hook. Work a treble. That's 1, 2, 3 times. So that was 1 treble, and we need to make 7 of these. That's 1, and that's 2. Oh, I've got my yarn a little knotted here. Oh, there we go. It's 2, 4 trebles, 5, and you are going to have to squeeze them in here. 5, so let me just make a little bit of room here. 5, there we go, twice over. And this is number 6. And 7. There we go. 7 trebles. You see your popcorn sits here nice to the front. Now we go to the next space. I'm going to do the same, make sure our popcorn is to the front, and across this space here, so the chain 2 and the chain 3, we're going to work a single crochet. So that's in essence the same stitch as this standing single crochet. It's going to be this stitch here. And make sure your popcorn's to the front, because you're indeed going to be very unhappy if it's not, because then you're going to have to find a way to get it to the front. So a single crochet over all of those spaces, all those chain spaces, make a single crochet. And this you're going to repeat 4 times. So that's 7 trebles and this single crochet. That is going to basically give you 4 corners, 4 shells. These 7 trebles. I'll show you once more. To the next space, that's going to be this space here. I'm going to make 7 treble crochets. Twice over. Through that space. Make sure your popcorn is to the front. Especially on your first stitch is most important. After that it kind of goes automatically. Make your it's 1 treble, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see how your popcorns are starting to get framed here. 5 by the shells. 6 and number 7, squeezing it in there. There we go. 7 trebles. And again on the next space, that's going to be this space here, work a single crochet. Make sure your popcorn is to the front of your work. Work a single crochet. Now done the repeat 2 times. I'm going to do it 2 more times. And of course the last single crochet you don't have to repeat because it's already there. And then you close to the top of the standing single crochet. Round 6, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and you're going to start on any single crochet between your shells. Doesn't matter which position you choose. I'm going to take this one. So in this single crochet we're going to start. I'm going to start with a standing treble crochet. So that means twice over for the treble. You need to hold it tight so that you don't accidentally lose those loops. And then in that single crochet between 2 shells, work a treble. It's 1, 2, 3 times. I'm going to work 4 more trebles in the same stitch. Twice over. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I now have 5 trebles here in the same stitch, in that single crochet right here at between 2 shells. 5 treble crochets. I'm going to make a picot. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to come back into the treble to make the picot. So into the treble stitch to make picot. Close with that slip stitch. And in the same stitch I'm now going to make 4 more trebles. Twice over. Gives me 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. That means you now have here 5 trebles, a picot, and 4 more trebles. So it's 9 in total with the picot. That's what you're going to be making in every single crochet. You're going to be making these 9 trebles and the picot. Now we're going to basically cross over to the next position. You're going to be making a chain 2, then a slip stitch to the back here, and 2 more chain stitches. Let me show you. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to make a slip stitch in the back of this shell. So these stitches here, but on the back. So on the back, on the base of the shell, see all these stitches here. I'm just going to go through 1 or 2 of these stitches and make a slip stitch. And then chain 2 again. 1, 2. And then come back to the front. And if all went well, you won't be able to see the stitches here from the front. And now you're ready to make again your trebles in this single crochet here. So I'll show you this entire repeat one more time. I'm going to do it in total 4 times. So in that single crochet, I'm going to work 5 trebles. Twice over, and then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trebles. Now we're going to make the picot, so that's chain 3, and then come back into the top of the treble to close the picot. So I'm going to go into the top of that treble to close the picot with a slip stitch. Almost made a single crochet there. Oh, and it went wrong again. In the top of the treble, make a slip stitch. And now we make 4 more trebles in the same single crochet. That's a very busy stitch there with those 9 trebles in there. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's your second, almost leaf shape made there. Now again, to cross over to the next position, I'm going to make chain 2, 1, 2. Going to go to the back of this shell here and through 1 or 2 stitches, 2.5, 3. Don't need the entire position, but somewhere in the middle. Pick up a few loops and make a slip stitch there. There we go. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now we can come back to the front, and in the next single crochet, which is going to be this one here, again make these 9 trebles with the picot. So I've now done this twice. You need to do it 2 more times. That's going to be for these 2 single crochets here, and then I'll just show you how to finish with that last space to just to make this last connection here. So make 2 more of these groups of 7 trebles and the 9 trebles and the picot. So the last part of this round just made the last of the 4 groups of 9 trebles. I need to do chain 2, 1, 2, then again to the back of this cluster here, of this shell, to the back, pick up 1 or 2 stitches, there we go, make a slip stitch, chain 2, then come back to the front of your work and close to the top of this standing treble crochet here. Just going to close there. And at this point you can cut off and work away your tails, and then you've completed round 6. Round 7, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to be working most of the stitches this round in the back loop. I'm going to start in the back loop of the 7th treble of any one of these leaves, so it doesn't matter which one you take, but count them until you're at number 7. So this is 5, 6, 7. So this is the stitch you're going for, the 7th treble, but we're only going to be working in the back loop of these stitches. And we're going to start by making a standing single crochet in the back loop of this 7th treble. So this is number 7. In the back loop of that stitch, make a standing single crochet. On the next stitch, which is the 8th treble, we're making a back loop half double crochet. So again, only the back loop, make a half double. And on the following stitch, which is the 9th stitch, in the back loop again, at this time a double crochet. Like so. Now you're onto the chain 2 space. In this space we're going to be making 3 trebles. So that's twice over for the treble. And then in the chain 2 space, work 1 treble, twice over, 2 trebles, twice over, and that's 3 trebles, like so. I'm going to skip the slip stitch itself and go on to the next chain 2 space, which you're again going to work 3 trebles. So it's exactly the same as on this side, you're also doing on that side. 3 trebles, that's 1 in the chain 2 space, 2, I'm going to move them a little bit, 2, oh. I've got my yarn twisted here, here we go, 2, and number 3. The next stitch, which is going to be the first of these 9 trebles, I'm going to making a back loop double crochet again. So this is the same as on this side, only in a mirror image. So double crochet in the back loop of the first treble. So only in that back loop, double crochet. The next stitch won't surprise you, it's going to be a back loop half double crochet, and then a back loop single crochet. And now you're in the third treble of the next of these 9 trebles here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to skip all these center stitches and again go to the 7th stitch, and that is going to be the same stitch as the one here. So it's again a single crochet, and this is your repeat unit, the single crochet and everything in between up until the chain 3. So, and then the 7th stitch, that's again this one here, goes 7, 8, 9. So at number 7, make a back loop single crochet, and you're going to just flip that chain 3 to the back so that your picot is to the front of your work. I'm going to show you the repeat unit once more. So on the neck, so I'm going to start the repeat unit here with the single crochet, then back loop half double crochet, back loop double crochet. In the chain 2 space you work 3 trebles. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go, 3 trebles. In the next chains 2 space again work 3 trebles, so you're skipping the slip stitch. That's 1, 2, and 3. Just going to move them up a bit so that I can see that first stitch there, because otherwise it could be hidden, that first stitch. In this stitch you're making a double crochet. Be sure you're picking up the first stitch, so if your stitches here are on the way, move them to the side. Double crochet, the next stitch a half double crochet. Only back loops still, and in the third treble you work a back loop single crochet. Chain 3, 2, 3, and then go to the other side, and again in the 7th treble, the back loop, you work a single crochet. And now you're again at the same point where you were here as well as here. So now you're going to make a half double crochet in all the trebles. So you're going to repeat this 2 more times, so on this edge and this edge. You're going to finish with a chain 3 and then close with a slip stitch on that first standing single crochet. Round 8. Now round 8 isn't so much difficult as there's just a lot happening, but taking you step by step through what we're doing this round. Using the same color yarn, so I'm in the first standing single crochet from round 7 with a slip stitch, so after the chain 3 and closing with a slip stitch. Round 8, I'm going to start with a chain 1. This is just to get me to the correct height, it does not count as a stitch. And in the same stitch we were already in, I'm going to make a single crochet. So in that stitch that already contains the slip stitch, make a single crochet. If you're working with a new color yarn, you make a standing single crochet in this stitch. The next stitch, also make a single crochet. That means after the chain 3 space, you now have 2 single crochets on those first 2 stitches. Now we're going to start a mini repeat. We're going to work on the next 3 stitches. We're going to work 4 single crochets, and we're going to do that 3 times. So on the first stitch, that's going to be this, that's the double crochet here. I'm going to work 2 single crochets in that stitch. 2 single crochets. The next 2 stitches work 1 single crochet on each. That's 1. 2. So this little unit I'm now going to do 2 more times, because I've done it once. I need to do 3 in total, so 2 more. The next stitch, which is the 3rd treble from these 3 here, the last treble, I'm going to work 2 single crochets. It's 1, 2. And on the next 2 stitches, which is treble 1 and 2 from the next 3, work a single crochet on each. It's 1 and 2. Now for the 3rd time, on the 3rd treble here, work 2 single crochets. 2. And on the next 2 stitches, work a single crochet on each, which is that double crochet and half double crochet. You now should have 1 stitch left before the chain 3 space, and on that last stitch, that's a single crochet, you're also going to work a single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the chain 3 space, so that's this space here, and on the next single crochet, it's going to be this one, work a single crochet. Oops, there we go. And this single crochet is the same as this one here. So now you're again going to do exactly what you did here. You're going to do on this side, and this side. I'll show you the repeat one more time. So that's 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets, because you need 2 single crochets after the chain 3 space. So those are the same as these 2 here. Now that small repeat unit, on the double crochet you work 2 single crochets, and on the next 2 stitches work 1 single on each, again on this 3rd treble here work 2 singles and a single on each of the next 2 stitches. A 3rd time on this 3rd treble work 2 singles, and on the next 2 stitches work a single on each. You should have 1 stitch left, work a single crochet on that stitch. Chain 3, skip this chain 3 space you have here, and on that first single crochet work 1 single, and on the next one also. And now you're again ready to start that small repeat unit of that you did here at the beginning. So do this on 2 more edges and close on that first single crochet. So do take note, this actual single crochet, so not the chain 1 you made, but the actual single crochet itself. Close on that stitch. And then I'll see you for round 9. Round 9, a new color yarn on my hook. And we're going to start on the first single crochet after any chain space. So you can choose which one on that first single crochet. And on all these stitches, which are 15 in total here, these single crochets, going to work a front loop treble. So only in the front loops of all these stitches. Twice over for the treble. Just need to hold them tight, that I don't lose that first one for the standing treble. Just quickly find, yes, here's a chain space, so in that first single crochet, which is going to be this stitch here, in the front loop, work a standing front loop treble. There we go. That's your first treble. You're going to work 15, so on all these stitches, so 14 more, twice over, and on the next stitch that's 2, and 3, and you continue working a front loop treble on all these stitches until you're on that last single crochet before the space. I'm just quickly going to make a small jump and make a front loop treble on all these stitches. Done 15 trebles in the front loop of all these single crochets. So very important, you've only worked in the front loops. So now to cross over to the other side, chain 1, going to do a single crochet over both these chains here. You've got these 2 chain 3 spaces here, and to work a single crochet over both of them. So you're going to bring them together and work a single crochet. Chain 1, and now you're ready to again work a series of 15 trebles in these next 15 single crochets, and only work in the front loop. So twice over on the first single crochet, which is going to be this one here, on that stitch, work a single crochet, a front loop treble in that single crochet, and this is the first of again 15. And what I've now done, you're going to repeat 4 times, so work 15 trebles in these front loops. It's chain 1, single crochet where you work over both your chains, chain 1, and then again 15 trebles in the front loop. Go all the way around, and what's very important here is after you've made this last single crochet and the chain 1, do not join to the top of this treble here, because in the next round we're going to be doing something different. So don't close when you're at the end of round 9. Round 10, I've not joined to the beginning stitch here, the standing treble from round 9. So I've now got the single crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to making folding single crochets, and I'll show you how to do that. It's just a little trick, not difficult, but you just need to know how to do it. This treble here, I'm going to go into the back loop of this treble, and I'm going to go into the base of the stitch where the treble is in, because you still have a back loop there available also. Remember, round 9 we only worked in the front loop, so the back loop you should still have available. So I'm going to go through the back loop of the treble at the top of the stitch, and I'm going to go through the back loop at the bottom. Let me show you. Let's get this thread on this side. Through the top, I'm going to go into the back loop. This is of that standing treble, and at the bottom also go through the back loop of the stitch. So now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to go yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. This is a folding single crochet. You're going to do this on all your trebles. So the next stitch is going to be this treble here. Go through the back loop of the treble and through the back loop here at the base you still have available. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops. And what you're doing, I'll show you once more. And once more, you're creating an edge. You see what's happening here is that these trebles are being folded over, and that's going to give you a lovely edge here around your flower for the mandala. So this is really nice. I really like this. Back loop and the bottom back loop. So make sure you have them aligned so that the top and the bottom, you have them corresponding, so that you're not working skew but keep them straight. And complete the stitch. So the top, take the back loop, the bottom, you take the back loop, bring up through 2 loops, and again take off 2 loops. You're going to do this for all 15 of these trebles. Where am I? Yes, here. And this might take just a little time, so don't try to rush this, because you want to do this neat, because that's going to give such a better effect if these stitches are done properly. So don't rush this, especially if this is a new stitch for you and you've never done this before. Take your time. So almost to the other side. I've got a few more trebles to go. So you can see how this edge is folding here. It's really nice. And this one here, yes, there. And I've got 2 more trebles, yes. That stitch. And your last one, you see everything's already all folded up. So your last one, make sure you don't accidentally skip this last treble. That one there. And at the bottom. There we go. So now you've done 15 trebles, and you can see how this edge is folded over as compared to this edge here. So you're going to do this, of course, on all your edges. Now just to cross over to the other side, you're going to skip the chain 1 space that you have here. So remember you've got that chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Skip the chain 1 and work a single crochet in the single crochet you already have in there. Work a single crochet. And skip the next chain 1 space also, and now you're ready to work again all these folding single crochets on these next 15 trebles. So I'm just going to do the first one, but basically it's exactly the same as here. So your next stitch, which is going to be skipping the chain 1 space, so this is the treble stitch, so there's the back loop of that stitch, and go to the bottom, that's here, and complete. And this you're again going to do 15 times, so folding all these stitches, and then skip the chain 1 space, a single crochet on that single crochet, and then again 15 folding stitches. So go all the way around. When you get here back to the beginning, you close on that first fastening single crochet, let me call it that. I'll just show you how to close when we get to the beginning. So just the last part of round 10, just in the last folding single crochet, I'm going to skip the chain 1, and then in this single crochet here, make a single crochet in that center one. And now I'm going to close to this folding single crochet. If you go to the back, you'll see here all these single crochets. These are your folding ones. So I'm just going to close on that first folding single crochet. There we go. And that completes round 10, and which you've made a very interesting folding stitch. Round 11, I have a new color yarn, on my hook, and we're going to start on any single crochet that's between your groups of folded stitches. So that's the single crochet, the normal one that you made here in the middle. I'm going to start there with a standing single crochet in that center single crochet stitch. Now we're going to catch the picot, and that's your picot here. So we're going to make a single crochet, and by doing that we're going to connect this basically to here. That's what we're going to be doing. So a single crochet in the picot, and that's always a little tricky because you want to get really into the loop. There we go, in the loop that's inside that single, because remember you have that chain 3, so you really want to see if you can get inside that loop. That can be a little tricky. So I'm going to make a single crochet in that picot. There we go, and single crochet, and then come back to the stitch where you already have that first single crochet. We're going to make a single crochet in there also. So that means in that top stitch you now have 2 single crochets, and you've got 1 in the picot, so you've got 3 single crochets in there. Moving on to the folded stitches here, you've got your folded single crochets here to the back, those stitches there. You're going to work a single crochet on each of them. So this will be 15 in total. So this is your first folded single crochet. Work a single crochet. So 1, and they're slightly to the back here, so you'll have to just bring your work ever so slightly forward. So on every single crochet you make, or on these folded single crochets I should say, you make a regular single crochet. This is number 15. So I've now worked a single crochet on each of these 15 folded single crochets here. And then you're now again here in the middle. So again we're going to work a single crochet, then catch the picot, and then work a single crochet up here again. So that's a single crochet in the middle here, in this regular single crochet. Then in the picot, so again I'm going to try to get into the center of that picot, work a single crochet in there, and then come back up, and in the same stitch where you just worked that first single, there we go, work a second single crochet. And I've caught this picot also, exactly the same as this one. And you now need to do exactly what you did here, you need to do on these edges also. So you're going to work 15 single crochets here on these folded single crochets to the back, then a single crochet, catch the picot with a single, and then again a single back up here, and you're going to go all the way round. Close with a slip stitch on this first standing single crochet, and in the next round I'll be using the same color yarn. Round 12. I'm currently in the first standing single crochet. You can see here the stitch that I'm currently in with a slip stitch. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working a whole bunch of stitches on the single crochet that you made in the picot. So we're going to start with going with a slip stitch to that single crochet that's in the picot. And that's also the start of our repeat unit, is this slip stitch here. That's the single crochet that's in the picot. 1 slip stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now in the same stitch where we're currently in, make a treble. So twice over, and in this same stitch, make a treble. And this stitch is going to be very busy. Chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because now in the same stitch where we already have the slip stitch and the treble, again make a slip stitch. So that's why I say this stitch is going to be very busy. There's a lot happening in here. There we go. And that gives you this kind of loop here with these 2 chain 4s and the treble in the middle. And everything here is worked in that single crochet that's in your picot. Now we're moving on to the single crochets here. We're going to make a single crochet on the next 8 stitches. And especially the first one is going to be easy to skip, because this is the single crochet that you still made here on the back. Remember this stitch here, I'll show you, this stitch is the first single crochet that you made into the folding single crochet. That's actually the second stitch you're working in, because there is still one single crochet here to the back, because you had, remember you had single crochet, then single crochet in the picot, and then another single crochet in the same stitch. So that first one, don't accidentally skip that stitch. It's going to be easy to skip because you've got a lot happening here, so be mindful of that. So this is your first single crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, whoops, do that one again. Where was it now? 1, 2, 3. Yes, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets worked. And now we're going to do exactly what we did here. We're also going to do again in the next stitch. That's this one here. And this should be the 8th folding single crochet worked in a folding single crochet. So this should be the 8th one here. Remember, we've got that first one, which counts as a 0 basically, plus 7, and this gives you 8. With a slip stitch, go to that stitch, chain 4, a treble in the same stitch, twice over. Again, this is also going to be a very busy stitch. Chain 4, and a slip stitch in the same stitch again. And now you've made another loop the same as this one here you've made there. On the next 8 stitches, again work 8 single crochets, and again be mindful not to skip the first one, though it's easier to see the first one now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And single crochet number 8 should be just before the single crochet that you worked into the picot. So you see this single crochet here is worked into the picot, and this position is again exactly the same as this position. So I'm now going to again be doing this loop stitches here. So I'm going to go with a slip stitch to the next, chain 4, work a treble in the same stitch, 3, chain 4, and come back down again and work a slip stitch in the same stitch. There we go. And now again 8 single crochets, being mindful not to skip this very first one here. It's that one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you're again going to make a loop on that stitch, on the following stitch. So I've now done 3 of these loops. Continue like this, go all the way around. Every time work one of those loops and then 8 single crochets. And after your last 8 single crochets here, close on your first stitch with a slip stitch and then fast cast off, because I'm going to use a new color for the next round. Round 13, new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start with a standing single crochet between any 2 of these centers, these petals here. So single crochet number 5 is the one you're going for. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This stitch we're going to start in. We're going to start in that stitch with a standing single crochet in the 5th stitch. I just got my and there we go. In number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make a standing single crochet. There we go. Just have my yarn a little twisted here, but that should sort itself out. Then we're going to skip these 3 remaining single crochets, and then in the chain 4 loop, that's that loop there, make 7 trebles. It's twice over. Oops, there we go. 1 treble, 2, 3. See how I'm moving them down? And 4, 5, because you want to have enough space here. So that's 5. Then number 6. And then number 7. There we go. So you've done 7 trebles in that chain 4 space. On top here, so in the treble that's already in here, the center treble, you're going to make a treble crochet also. So in that stitch, top stitch, make a treble. And now it won't surprise you that in the next chain 4 space, that's on this side, you're also going to make 7 treble crochets. It's twice over, and 1. So in that chain 4 space, I'm going to make 7 treble crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally number 7. So, and then again also spread them out just a little bit evenly, like so. I'm going to skip the single crochets here at the bottom. To skip 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and then on the fourth one, that's this one here, work a single crochet. And that's your first flower petal completed. The next stitch, again a single crochet, and this single crochet is the same as this first standing single crochet. So you're now going to be doing exactly what you did here, you're going to do on this petal here. So again, skipping these next 3 stitches, 7 trebles in the chain 4 space, a treble on top, 7 trebles on the other chain 4 space, skip 3 stitches, and then work as 2 single crochets. So you're going to repeat this in total 8 times, so going all the way around. And when you get here, we are going to make one last single crochet and then close with a slip stitch to that first standing single crochet. Round 14. This round we're going to be working in the stitches on the petals we just made. Currently in the single crochet here with a slip stitch. We're going to be skipping the single crochets. We're not going to be working in them. We're going to go directly to the first treble here. In that first treble, I'm going to work a double crochet in that very first treble. Just want to take the yarn with me. There we go. So double crochet in the first treble. Then in the next 13 trebles, we're going to work 2 double crochets in each. So in each and every stitch, you're going to work 2 trebles on the petal. Sorry, 2 double crochets on every treble in the petal. That's a tongue twister if you try to say that too fast. Except for the first and the last treble, in which you work only 1 double crochet. So it's reasonably easy to get the rhythm. You work the first treble, you work the 1 double crochet, then you work 2 double crochets on the following stitches, and the very last one we are again only going to work 1 double crochet. And these single crochets you just skip, you don't worry about them. What you'll notice is, as you're working this round, is that your work will start to bobble a little bit and just wobble, and it won't be flat, let me put it that way. This will correct itself later on when your project gets bigger, so don't stress too much about this at the moment. So I'm still working 2 double crochets on every stitch, and it will be quite a few stitches at this point because you have 8 petals. So this round will take a bit longer than the previous ones. And there we go. Almost round. See, I'm still taking this thread with me. So I've been doing that a lot, just taking threads with me and then not having to work them in. And that way it saves me time, because I'm not a big fan of working away threads. I'm sure that applies to most of you. But one thing, do not leave all your threads until the end. Work them in as you go, because if you leave them all to the end, you're going to really regret that, because you're going to be spending hours working away threads. There we go. I've got 1 treble left. That's this one here, the last one. And you're going to work 1 double crochet on that stitch. And that's it. That's the entire petal worked. And this you're going to be doing on all your others as well. So also on this one and this one, on all 8. So you're going to skip these 2 single crochets, immediately go to the next treble, which is the stitch here, and work a double crochet. And on the next stitch you work 2 again. Etc. You're going to continue like that, work 2 double crochets on every stitch except the first and the last treble where you only work the 1. Skip the single crochets, so don't worry about those. Go all the way around. When you get to the beginning, you close with a slip stitch on that first double crochet. And then I'll see you for the last round of part 1. Round 15, last round of part 1. We're going to start, you can start on any stitch basically. We're going to be making a back post single crochet on each and every double crochet from the previous round. So pick a stitch, really doesn't matter which one. I'm going to take this stitch here. Start by making a standing back post double crochet, and I have my yarn rock. There we go. And you're going to go one by one all the way around and make a back post single crochet around the post of each and every double crochet stitch. I've now done a few, but you need to of course go all the way around, and when you're at the beginning you close by joining to that very first standing back post single crochet. And when you do this you're going to get a lovely edge along these petals. You can see that edge forming here. That's why we're doing this. So work all these back post single crochets, go all the way around, and when you've done all the back post single crochets, this is what your pattern looks like. Work away your tails, you'll still have a few tails left, and you can better not work them in the row that we just did in round 15, but a few rows back. Especially here, the dark pink one here in the middle is the best place to work your threads. This has to do with what we'll be doing next week. Well, when you've worked away everything, you've completed part 1 of Mandala Madness. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.